Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are going to try out a run as Spain. This is something I've never done before, so we're going to see how it goes. Spain's got a pretty interesting starting situation, and depending how long that takes to talk about, we may not actually push the unpause button until the beginning of next episode, so we'll see. Right away, let's talk about the country. We are run by a wee tiny child. And that is going to be significantly impacting our authority to start. So that's going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. Spain starts in a kind of interesting place. Legally, we've got national supremacy and state religion, and this puts us in kind of a strong spot because we've got a lot of different cultures in Spain. We got Galician people over here, which is we this is Portugal, but we might that territory might be ours eventually. We got Spanish people in a lot of Spain, but we've got Basque people in a lot of Spain as well, and we've got Catalan people in a lot of Spain, in kind of the northeast and on the Baleares. But all of these cultures share a lot of traits with Spanish, and more importantly, they're all Catholic. And because Catholic is the state religion, and we have state religion, so that's 25 extra acceptance for Catholic pops, most of these pops are accepted. So Spanish, obviously, they're the primary culture, but Basque people are all at acceptance level 4, which is second-class citizenship, which is pretty rock solid. And Catalan people are at full acceptance. Galician people are at full acceptance as well. Let's take a quick run at national supremacy to see what this does. So, oh boy, this is a little bit hard to read, but let's just take a quick look-see. So this is extra political strength for full acceptance, slightly lower political strength for second-class citizenship, higher loyalism for both second-class and full acceptance, allow assimilation for everyone who's not in violent hostility. Second-class citizens do get voting rights, they have slightly reduced wages, and full acceptance FOBs do have higher wages. So that's basically the big difference is going to be the big difference between, say, Spanish people and Catalan people is Catalan people are going to be paid a little less, which is, not ideal, but mostly good. Mostly okay. So, let's take a quick look at tech. In tech, we are doing a little rough in production. We don't have lathe yet, which makes us kind of a low-tech starting country. Oh boy, we don't have Napoleonic warfare. We do have line infantry and army reserves. We don't have Napoleonic warfare. So that's going to be a necessary starting point for us. Society, we got a lot of the tier 1s, so that's not too bad. And it looks like we got one university to start. Oof. Tier 1s are pretty rough. Alright, so to start things off, we'll do Napoleonic warfare. That'll at least get us mobile infantry, and then let me see, is that going to be the end of Tier 1? It's not. I don't want to spend time researching paddle steamer. So we'll circle back to lathe in production. Let's see, is there anything I desperately need in society? How much am I getting from minting? I'm getting 9k in minting. So getting banking could prove really useful. On the other hand, getting mass communication could be really useful for the extra authority, because I've got a lot of authority in the early game. I use empiricism, extra maneuvers, that's nice. Yeah, I think we'll probably grab banking, and then we'll circle back to military to grab general staff. Because by then, paddle steamer should have spread to us real good. Depending on how things go. Actually, I'm going to queue in paddle steamer at the end of this, just to make sure that that's gotten, and then we'll do military over to general staff, and then after that, we'll grab intensive agriculture, railway, and then the percussion cap. And that'll let us be fully independent on general staff. Alright, so that's our tech plan. We got decent armies. Army of the North, Army of the Center, Guardia Real, not sure what that means. We need a leader for our armada. Let's grab this intelligentsia guy. Sigismundo Garcia de la Noceda. That was a funny noise. And we'll give him a couple of promotions. Do I want to do anything with the politics of the laws right away? So I've got the Catholic Church and the intelligentsia sharing power, which is a really interesting state of affairs. If I hit the reform government button, I can grab the rural folk in and get a legitimate government. I think I'm going to do that. So, in terms of laws, we got an oligarchic monarchy, which isn't bad. We're doing interventionism and mercantilism with land-based taxation. I'm going to keep land-based taxation for the time being, and I'm going to be clear about why I'm doing that later on. Let me see, we got local police force. I could go to dedicated. I think that'd be superior. Everyone will be pleased with that, basically, except for the landowners, and I don't care what they think, so we'll go ahead and do that. Just to start things out. Let me see. Bureaucracy investment cost is pretty low. We're using sweeteners. Very good. Not a lot of industry, but a decent amount of textile industry. I could be producing luxury furniture, but I'm not going to necessarily. Producing a lot of ceramics, but prioritizing glass production isn't going to make those more productive. Whew, the industry situation is a little bit brutal, to be completely honest. But we do have gold mines. That's a nice economic bonus. Let me see. Government. We're all filing cabinets all the time. Fishing wharves could go to trawlers. Not going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and. Oh no, we're doing state religion, so I can't swap over the universities. All right. So let's take a quick look at budget. We got consumption taxes on tobacco and liquor. Those are producing a good amount of cash. So we'll put one on services, one on coffee, and now, do I go buck wild and throw one on something really ridiculous like clothes? No, I don't think so. I think we put a consumption tax on meat and another on luxury clothes, and that's where we start. Finances wise. Do I drop government wages? Oh, the temptation is extremely high, but my finances are okay for now. Let's take a look at construction. I've got 4 construction sectors. They're all operating on wood frame. So how does the market look? Can I sustain a switch to iron frame immediately? Absolutely not. Have I got the tools to expand iron mine facilities? I absolutely do. So let's start with that. Where have I got iron mines running? I got iron mines in Castile and Navarra. Just familiarize myself. So this is gonna be very new to me. So Castile is where? Here. Castile is here and Navarra is here. Alright, so these are our iron areas. Do we have iron resources anywhere else? Yes, we've actually got iron in a lot of different parts of the country. That's very good. I'm happy to hear that. Where is our tooling? Because that's going to be a primary controller of where we build our iron mines. Alright, so it's in Navarra. Plenty of labor available here in Navarra, so let's go ahead and expand the size of the iron industry here. We'll increase the size of the tooling industry as well. We'll intersperse these, and then as time goes by, we'll switch over to iron frame construction as soon as we've got enough iron to support it. Please don't tell me my construction sectors are all in the same place. They're not. Alright, we got some in Castile. Which would be nice to build up some additional iron supply in Castile herself so that I can have iron be cheaper there once I build construction sectors there. Is that the right call? I think so. And do I switch one over right away? If I start with Castile, that will be a real strain on my iron industry. So let's start with the one in Catalonia. It's going to cost a lot, but it is what it is. And it's going to get us building much faster. Oh my goodness, it totally wrecked my bottom lines. Is that so? Is that what happened? No, okay, we're good. We're good to go. We thought we were doing bad, but we're not. Alright, we've got lathe spreading, we got paddle steamer spreading, we got empiricism spreading. Those are good spreads. New journal entry, establish university. Path to liberalism. Alright. And Ejército del Norte needs another leader. Let's go with this Gentleman of the Armed Forces. That should be just fine. Let's take a look at our military. We do have the upgrade all units button available because we have some units on cuirassiers and dragoons that could be lancers. So we'll go ahead and hit that button. I can afford to increase those significantly. Now, we have an anti-Dutch league. That's interesting. Diplomatically, what do we want to be doing? I want to be improving relations with France, my neighbor, who is a very strong great power and who I don't have very good relations with. Relations with Portugal are good. I'm going to leave that be for now, but I do want to improve relations with Great Britain, who I also don't have very good relations with. So, who are some acceptable rivalry targets? We have lots of options here. We will rival the Dutch. We will rival the Dutch East Indies. We will rival the Ottoman Empire. There we go. Good set of rivals here. I'm no longer interested in the Congo, apparently. Let's see. I could definitely stand to increase the size of my fleet, but obviously I'm costing myself a lot of money. Where do I have interests declared, first of all? North Africa. Indonesia, alright. Italy. Scandinavia. So where do I want to do expansion is an interesting question. I think let's put a target, let's put a bullseye on Japan and a bullseye on Indochina for now. And we'll put a pin in that and we'll circle back later. Tunis is still an Ottoman subject, yes. Now Portugal. Netherlands rivaled me back, alright, that's fine. Again, if I try to fight Portugal, that's going to bring Great Britain in, so I don't want to do that. Can I use this additional influence to befriend some other folks around here? I sure can. Russia? Russia. Alright, that'll be nice. That'll give me plenty of what I want to have a lot of. Great Britain declared rivalry. Well, that's not exactly what I was hoping for. So we'll keep improving relations with the French for now. I want to have one really rock-solid ally before I go after Great Britain. Relations are neutral with France, so that's improving some things. But is there a small target I can go after that will let me put myself on the map? Missy Guardia Real, we've got mostly line infantry, some cuirassiers, and some artillery, but not great artillery. So could I steal Brunei, for example? The answer may surprise you. Don't want to conquer, I want to protect. No one seems likely to stand against me except for the Dutch. Are the Dutch likely to actually be able to create a problem? Their fleet is bigger than mine. My goodness, that is a shocker. So, that's not ideal. Let's go ahead and increase the size of the fleet. And do I want to throw that up ahead of the iron mines? I think I'll finish out the one that I'm working on, and then we'll do our expansion. And that'll also get me a little bit more naval ability to play with. So what are my plans for this run? I'm not rightly sure yet. I do want to do some overseas expansion. I think my primary goal, my sort of end state... Oh, discord within the rural folk. An influential faction within the rural folk has grown frustrated with their commoners' neutrality on the topic of dedicated police force. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass, 15% enactment chance, slightly weaker rural folk, or the armed forces extend an open hand to these mavericks. The armed forces are not in the government right now, so we'll just weaken the rural folk a little to get all that enactment chance. So my goal is kind of, for this run, I want to do a little bit of a rural folk capture state and just see how that plays. So, what are the rural folk like? They're agrarian, which means they like agrarianism. Land reform, they like homesteading. And taxation, they like consumption-based. And I'm actually going to try to make consumption-based happen. And that's why I'm sticking at land-based for now. Because I think that's going to be easier to switch from land-based, which not a lot of people like, to consumption-based, which almost nobody likes. Isolationists, they like frontier colonization or no home affairs, and I think I can stick with that. I may have colonization already. I don't. Okay, so we'll potentially start that, but we'll potentially keep it where it is. They like a national militia, which is just fine. I'm very pleased with the national militia. I might be able to get there straight away, but not necessarily right now immediately. And then isolationists, which is they like closed borders, isolationism, and protectionism. And they like racial segregation. They don't like national supremacy or cultural exclusion. I may stay at national supremacy. We'll see. I do want to run kind of a reactionary type build, but I think a key to getting where I want to get is to get to universal suffrage. Obviously that's going to ruffle some feathers, so we'll see how that goes. But that's a goal. How are we doing with iron? We're not doing super great with iron. Do I have any of my own artillery works? I don't. So I'm getting all my artillery from trade, which means I'm going to need to bring in some more. Trade out with Britain's unproductive. Let's get it from France. Ottoman Empire is rivaling me. That's fine. Let's take a look at our market just to see where we are. Alright, we for sure need more iron. That's not really negotiable. I'm definitely going to need to increase the size of my universities. I've got the Establish a University Journal entry active, so let's pin that. And patronize Romanticism. Do I have any arts academies to start? Looks like no. What do I need for a university? I need level 2. Alright, so my existing university is in Madrid, presumably. No. It is. Yes, it is. Haha! You thought I knew how to see things. You fool! Alright, I think this is going to give me progress with empiricism, and that's already spreading. Let's see how spread it is. Empiricism is just barely spread so far. Rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Ramon Maria Narvaez, leader of the armed forces, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of dedicated police force. Making an appearance in the public before the public in Madrid's main square, Ramon Maria Narvaez's powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across Spain, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. This should ease the path to reform greatly, 15% enactment chance. Or performances like these reflect well on Narvaez and his cause. Narvaez, you're a moderate and ambitious, and you're the head of the armed forces. I don't necessarily want stronger armed forces right now, so I'll just say this will ease the path to reform greatly. What I really want is a good defensive pact. Can I get one? Ideally with France, because France and Spain forming a united front would be extremely strong. I could go after Morocco. What if I went for a protectorate over Morocco? Who would stand against me? Tunis? Not worried about that. France might. Oh, that's not ideal. I need better relations with France before I do this, I guess. Yeah, I don't want to fight the French. I don't want to fight the French before I've discovered Napoleonic warfare in 1836. So, can I go over... Can I go after Brunei at this time? Oh my gosh, they're going after Siak immediately. Gosh. Dutch East Indies, dial it back. Netherlands is not involved, though. I am working on increasing the size of my navy. So that's pretty alright. I think I'm going to drop the university back a little bit to build these mines first. No, I'm going to put it in front. I want to get the maximum out of that innovation increase. Finances are doing alright. I could stand to increase the size of my construction sector. I am currently on interventionism, which is good. I'm going to want to go to agrarianism eventually, but my goal here is I want to see if my big gimmick for this run is I want to see if I can make a consumption tax based economy work, and I want to try to get there sometime before the end of the 20th century, or sorry, before the end of the 19th century, because I think that'd be a really interesting way to approach the game and what we want to do with it. A lot of things are going to be easier once Isabel de Bourbon is an adult. We'll see how that goes. Come on, give me a level of dedicated police force. Heck yes! Oh, so good. Naval bases are getting built. Alright, I think once we get up to past like 15, it'll be fine. Because then I'll be able to send the Guardia Real to actually do an invasion. And I don't anticipate Brunei being able to stand against me in a meaningful way, on account of their army is extremely weak. Yeah, it's just a regular infantry. France is going after Constantine right now. They will not... They're not interested in having me help them out, which is a shame. I truly wish they were, but I can't do anything about that right now. The play for power. Baldomero Espartero, leader of the petite bourgeoisie, has made a remarkable play for power in the capital in order to secure a spot for the petite bourgeoisie within the government. However, it's not entirely clear if they should be rewarded for their novel tactics. There's only one light in the street that leads to the petite bourgeoisie headquarters. There's also only one light inside. There, Baldomero Espartero relaxes among the sumptuous mahogany furniture and velvet cushions. The lamp is identical to those that have been sent from the Far East. The ends justify the means, and our means are very, very justified. It's difficult not to believe him when he offers an inviting seat by his side. Interest groups. Petite bourgeoisie are doing all right. He shall be recognized for this extra political strength, or not all is fair in love and war. They get salty, but weaker. I'm gonna go with the second one. The petite bourgeoisie are kind of a chronic thorn in my side in Victoria 3. Ooh, we need a new leader of the Ejército de Centro. Let's see. Ooh, we got another intelligentsia guy. Carlos Pagaza. Hello. Wow, intelligentsia sure are full of authoritarians. That's probably fine from the long term. It's probably not going to be a problem ever, really, if you think about it. Really, if you think about it, it's probably not going to be a problem ever. Ooh, a wildfire in Puerto Rico. Oh, that's right, yes. I have some subjects. Let's take a second to look at our subjects, shall we? We have two subjects. Cuba, which consists of Cuba and Puerto Rico, and the Philippines, which is over here. So how are these countries feeling? Cuba is going down in Liberty Desire, which is good. I'm not really worried about that. Philippines is straight chillin' from economic dependence. Interesting. How much cash are we making from diplomatic pacts? Quite a bit right now. About 2/3 of that's coming from the Philippines, and the remainder is coming from Cuba. So that's really interesting. We'll definitely be looking to strengthen these states, and I think to start, let's go ahead and... Ooh, I can evangelize. Extra conversion to Catholic. Yes, because that's the state religion there. Alright, interesting. But I think instead of doing that, I can't share knowledge because I haven't unlocked more technologies. Alright, well that is what it is. What about Cuba? Same deal. So I could evangelize. Let's take a quick look at population composition. Cuba is almost entirely Catholic. Puerto Rico is entirely Catholic. Alright, so that's not going to be useful there. What about here? Virtually entirely Catholic. Not completely, though, for all these areas. I could take over Maguinda now to get the rest of that territory. That's a useful thing. Dutch East Indies would stand against. How strong are the Dutch East Indies? Not that strong on account of... Well, they've got a lot of battalions. But I've also got a lot of battalions. Nevertheless, I think we're going to go after Brunei first. Because Dutch East Indies are stuck in the middle of a war themselves. No, they're not. They went after Siak already. Oh my goodness. Dutch East Indies, stop eating other countries, you fool. That's my job. Netherlands might stand against over here. Ooh, Brazil is improving relations. That's nice. Hey, we're in ascent for a dedicated police force. Dutch East Indies is not. Alright, let's go for it. We'll go after Brunei. Alright, so that's not a shock. We'll go ahead and mobilize... Let me see, we're going to have 3 more levels. We'll go ahead and mobilize the Central Army, I think. Let me see, so this is going to get us up to 9 and 6. We'll do 1 more level of frigates before we do this. We'll throw this one in amongst the others, and we'll mobilize the Central Army. We'll go ahead and stage that force in the Philippines, and we'll send the Armada Real Española over there to support a naval invasion when the time comes. So do I have any additional war goals? I could take war reparations. Is that useful? I don't think so. They're going to be my protectorate, so it's not going to be too much. Could potentially bring in Portugal. What would you want? An obligation. I could call in our obligation to get Portugal on our side. I don't think I'm going to do that. Netherlands is still possibly going to join in. If Netherlands joins in, then I'll mobilize another army to defend. I don't think Netherlands has much of it. Oh, they've got something of an army. I might need to mobilize the Army of the North for this. I think Spain is all one HQ. Yes, it is. So I don't need to be worried over much about that. I so desire to flip one of these over to iron frame, but the cost is so enormous, just in terms of my iron supply. Again, probably didn't need to mobilize all this many forces, truth be told, but it's sensible to over-mobilize a little bit, particularly when you're dealing with a situation where you have a territory that you want, where you have someone who has the actual potential to stand against you and cause you a problem, feeling like they want to do that. Alright, we are actually making really good time here. Nobody has stood for Brunei, so that's good. So this might put us into a situation... Hey! Dedicated police force. Wonderful. I got a little bit of bureaucratic capacity, so let's increase the level of law enforcement by 1. From here... Do I go into homesteading? That's going to make landowners mad. Let's not do it quite yet. So, there's the war. Let's go ahead and throw our army into the action. And we'll see how that impacts things. Dutch East Indies are going after Tidor, so we're scrambling a little bit. I think after this, I'm going to want to grab Sulu to bring their islands into the Philippines, and then North Borneo into Brunei. Are a little bit short on org. I'm hoping that's not too much of a problem. Portugal sides with Tidor. Oh, that's interesting. Well, now, wouldn't this be interesting? But Great Britain does prefer Tidor. And if I get myself into a war with Great Britain, that would be very bad. See, they're on fire over there. They're flashing. I'm going to hold out for just a bit. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how our naval invasion goes. We are regaining organization here, so that is improving our situation. I would like to be going faster rather than slower. Again, I'm not really sure what affects how fast naval invasions pop off. Or when battles show up, really. Because I think this is at least partially an organization thing. I would love to break off a little chunk of Portugal. It's okay, so hypothetically, if I broke off a chunk of Portugal, what would be the best one to break off? Obviously, either Alentejo or Beira. Oh, Alentejo for sure. Look at all these resources. Yeah, Alentejo for sure. Do I do this while I'm in the middle of another war? And one that will draw my fleets completely away? Is this really what I want to do? Oh my goodness. Also, is this, are we gonna, you know, do an attack here? There we go. Alright, progress is being made there. So that should be just fine. Alright. We've come down to the wire here. Do I do this? Do I just steal a chunk of Portugal straight out the gate? For no reason whatsoever. I think I... Are you kidding me? Oh, Britain backed out of it. Oh. Those nerds. Alright, fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll deal with Brunei then. And that's me having dealt with Brunei. Alright, so next, I think we go after Maguinda now for a conquer. Great Britain does not wish to step in. It could kinda, but I don't think they're gonna. Dutch East Indies might, but I think I can take them. But in fact, I think that's going to be a question for a little later, once my feet are a little bit more under me with the run, and I've had some time to consider options. So, and partially I'm saying that because that is all the time we've got for this episode. So, my nerds, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun. And I will see you on the other side.